Get off over here.
On the right side.
Here, wait, we're facing this way. Stand here next to Jimmy or Steve. This way, yeah. We're going this way. You're right. I'm going to give him one more second. Good afternoon. On behalf of my over 800 colleagues company-wide at 21C Museum Hotel, over 120 of whom are new colleagues here locally, welcome to 21C Museum Hotel Lexington. We are very excited to have opened Lockbox Restaurant 2 weeks ago, and it is with great pleasure and pride that we are opening 21C Museum Hotel today with all of you on this glorious day. 10 years ago this month, we opened our first 21C Museum Hotel in downtown Louisville, never thinking there would be more than one. Our founders, Steve Wilson and Laura Lee Brown, who just had the best entrance ever to a grand opening event, hoped to revitalize downtown Louisville with easily accessible and world-class contemporary art, and with Southern hospitality, good food, great rooms, and an engaged community. 10 years later, Steve, Laura Lee, and all of us at 21C continue to be humbled and honored with the positive responses that we receive from our guests. It was our guests who first encouraged us to build more 21C Museum hotels, and so we did. Today marks the opening of our fifth 21C Museum Hotel. And even with all the hospitality that each of our communities has extended to us as we've opened hotels before, never before have we been greeted with such warmth and excitement as we have here in Lexington. A giant thanks to all of Lexington for the warm welcome, and we look forward to finally reciprocating with our team's hospitality in the coming days, months, and years ahead. We hope not only to be a communal place to see rotating shows of contemporary art, eat a fine meal, enjoy a new local cocktail, get a fantastic night's sleep, or participate in an interactive cultural program, but we also hope to provide another spark in the ongoing efforts to revitalize downtown Lexington into a thriving university city. 21C is the result of a strong public-private partnership and the hard work of so many people from around the country and here locally in Lexington, who have together helped make this project a reality. You'll hear from a few of those folks this afternoon. But first, I want to recognize and thank our local partners on this project, some of whom are with us today standing behind me. Brent Rice, Dr. Pierce Lyons, Tim Couch, Greg Couch, Pat Madden, Ron Kirk, and Bill Shively. Thank you all very much for your commitment to 21C Lexington and for your investment in the continued redevelopment of downtown Lexington. There are also a few other people here today without whom this project would not have happened. The general manager of 21C Museum Hotel, Andrew Carter, Chef Jonathan Searle, our chef from Lockbox Restaurant. Thank you, guys. Overseeing the construction of our project, Ron Carmichael and Brad Wilcox from the McCall Group. Thank you, guys. And from Weir Construction, who built the building and did this wonderful renovation job, Skip Berry, thank you to all of you and all of your colleagues at Weir Construction. And the man who is taking credit for the Chamber of Commerce weather here this afternoon, Alan Stein, thank you very much. Mary Quinn Raymer from Visit Lex. What did I see? Is she here? Well, thank you. I think she's here somewhere. Jeff Fugate from Downtown Development Authority. I saw Jeff. Thank you very much. And also a very special thanks to all of the members of the Lexington City Council who were very supportive of this project from day one, and it was critical to making this public-private partnership a success. Thank you all the members of Lexington City Council. "21C has been recruited to cities before, but we've never quite been recruited like we were here in Lexington. Leading that charge has been Mayor Jim Gray. In fact, he started the recruitment even before he was elected mayor. Mayor Gray's enthusiasm for economic development is well known and long-standing. We had looked at other opportunities in Lexington before, but it was Mayor Gray's relentless encouragement that caused us to ignore historical local market data and redevelop this special building into a cornerstone of the city's future. But Mayor Gray was not alone. As I just mentioned, we had the honor of also working very closely with Lexington City Council and many other members of Mayor Gray's administration. Lexington is fortunate to have such a committed and effective city government. We are confident many more good things are yet to come with the strength of your local government team today. Ladies and gentlemen, the leader of your city government, Mayor Jim Gray.
Thanks, man. Y'all, I'm shaking. So excited. Well, Craig has already described this beautiful day as a Chamber of Commerce day, and thanks to Alan Stein, it is a great afternoon, a great day to be in Lexington. I want to welcome our council members. We essentially have a quorum here today, and that's unusual. We've got Vice Mayor Steve Kay, council members James Brown, Bill Farmer, Fred Brown, Jennifer Scutchfield, Jennifer Masadi, Jake Gibbs, Susan Lamb, and Siobhan Akers here. So please, you all join me in welcoming them, because what Craig said was so true. It's so much thanks to the council for their support of this project. I also want to recognize former Mayor Pam Miller is here today. And she knows what a project like this, what it means to our city. And she told me that just the other day. Well, today is February 29th, Leap Day, the perfect day for Lexington to leap ahead with the opening of 21C and the rebirth of the historic First National Bank building. This is a leap ahead for downtown. It's a leap ahead with 120 new jobs. It's a leap ahead for arts and culture. It's a leap ahead for tourism. Now, you all know that leap years are unusual. They only happen once every 4 years. It was leap year, actually, in 1912. 1912, more than 100 years ago. It was the year that James Edward Bassett announced the building of what was then the tallest building in Kentucky outside of Louisville, the First National Bank building. It was also leap year in 2012 when we announced this classic building, designed by some of the best architects of the day, McKim, Mead, and White, would find new life as a 21C museum hotel. And it's leap day today as the doors of 21C open in Lexington. The best words I can use to describe the talented people of 21C are imagination, determination, and inspiration. They imagined, created, and have built a brand and a business model unlike any in the world, putting a hotel together with a contemporary art museum, and then it becoming a center of business and art and commerce and culture for a city. So welcome 21C, Steve Wilson, Laura Lee Brown, Craig Greenberg, and your entire team. Welcome imagination, determination, and inspiration. These blue penguins will feel right at home in Lexington. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor Gray. 21C Museum Hotels is fortunate to have worked with some talented designers on each of our projects so far. Deborah Burke and her colleagues have a unique ability to design a building that has the display of contemporary art at its core, yet is warm and comfortable, and to impressively juxtapose contemporary art and design into a historical building. Working with Alan Weisskopf and his team at Perfidio Weisskopf Wagstaff Gettle, the old First National Bank building has been repurposed into a modern classic that showcases its historic grandeur. Ladies and gentlemen, the founder of Deborah Burke Partners and the next dean of the Yale University School of Architecture, Deborah Burke.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Mayor Gray, and thank you to the entire 21C team, broad team, art, design, construction, operations, food, beverage, hospitality. You are all amazing, collaborative, and talented group. And as you can guess from the time span outlined, this was a huge effort and undertaking, and there are many more people I need to thank the night after the Oscars, but without the little ticker tape at the bottom, I'll go really quickly. Executive architect Alan Weisskopf and his colleague Tony Patassi from PWWG, historic preservation expert Judy Williams, Scott Johnson and Bob Long from KLH Engineers, structural engineer Gil Taylor from Atlantic Engineering Services, Illumination Works for lighting design, Jeff Babick for acoustics, all deserve thanks, as do Skip Berry, Brendan Berry, Dale Whitaker, Daryl Hayden, and everyone from Weir Construction. And from my team, Stephen Brockman, Terrence Schrader, Gabriel C., they know who they are, Virginia Gray, Duncan White, Alex Taylor, and David Sobel. I want to compliment Mayor Gray on his architectural history. The Fayette National Bank building is more than 100 years old, and it was designed by the leading architectural firm of its day, McKim, Mead & White. It is on the National Register of Historic Places, cited for many, many reasons, but in particular for its large rusticated pairs of Ionic columns. Take note, end of history lesson. Despite its age, it still has significant presence on the Lexington skyline. Our design acknowledges its Beaux-Arts presence and rich detail in many ways, all of them very 21st century, including creating a party room out of a second-story law offices in an adjoining building. But in addition to that, we uncovered the historic double-height banking hall with its plaster ornamental vaults, and that has become lockbox, along with the historic bank vault as the private dining room. The historic marble wainscoting, which we discovered in the elevator lobbies throughout the building, has provided a great opportunity to pair historic material with contemporary art. And as you may know, if you're from Lexington, there are actually 4 distinct historic buildings that make up the hotel, and the design celebrates both their differences, their connections, and their multiple interconnections. And finally, I suggest when you go inside today, you check out the playful and rather naughty basement restrooms, which have voyeuristic mirrors, and there is nothing remotely historic about those. Each 21C is unique. What sets this one apart is that the very small tower means that there are few guest rooms on each floor, so it's quite intimate. And there are multiple small and unique gallery spaces, which Alice will talk about. They connect horizontally through wall openings and vertically through the new staircase that encourage a kind of serendipitous exploration and varied environments for the 21st century art. In my office, we called this project the Gem of Lexington, and this informed our design. We used jewel tones throughout for a rich color experience that references the beauty of the Kentucky landscape and the breadth of its rich culture. Now, over the years of working with 21C, I have come to know and love Kentucky. I even taught a Yale design studio all about bourbon, which tested the limits of the then dean. Bourbon, horses, bluegrass, great architecture. Most of all, however, I love and admire Steve Wilson and Laura Lee Brown. They have become great friends. They continue to be exceptional clients, and they are true architectural, art collecting, and urban visionaries. And I think today they are owed the biggest thanks.
Thank you, Deborah. As I think you all can tell, we are very excited to become part of the Lexington community that inspires innovation and sparks creativity. Each 21C Museum Hotel has evolved to provide the unique cultural programming that each 21C city needs, and we look forward to becoming part of that experience right here in Lexington. To talk a little bit about our arts and cultural programming, let me introduce to you the Chief Curator of 21C Museum Hotels, Alice Gray Stites.
Well, we are about to open our doors so that you can come and explore art throughout 21C Museum Hotel Lexington. Before you do, I'm going to tell you what the art is all about at 21C. It's global, locally engaged and globally connected, building upon our founders' mission to integrate dynamic contemporary art into daily life for a broad public. 21C Museum Hotel Lexington will present and support today's most visionary artists through site-specific installations, changing exhibitions in our public spaces, dedicated space on each guest room floor for works by local artists, and a roster of programming, performances, readings, music. It's wide open for development, and we're committed to collaborating within the community and making sure that what is on view and what is experienced here reflects global cultures, so that people coming from all over the world, as well as next door, will see their culture reflected and learn and discover something new. I'd like to briefly introduce, we have some very special artists who are here today from different parts of the world who will be telling us a little bit more about their artwork inside this afternoon. Mats Bigert from Stockholm, Sweden, who is part of Bigert and Bergström, who have shown us what tomorrow's weather will be in perpetuity in the lounge in Lockbox, is here. Mike Zivos from Soft Lab Studio in New York City, which has transformed the foyer of this building with a beautiful crystalline structure called Spectraline. And finally, we have Ebony G. Patterson, who is flown here from Kingston, Jamaica, but also makes a home here in Lexington, Kentucky, as an art professor at the university. Number of her works are showcased. They really are the central focal point of our inaugural exhibition, Dress Up, Speak Up. It is our hope that there will be lots more artists coming into the building and experiencing the art, but today I'd like to give a special hand and a warm thank you to our visiting artists today. We'll be giving tours afterwards, and come discover it with us.
Thanks, Alice, and thanks to all of our artists who are with us here today. In a moment, we will cut the ribbon and let you all inside for the first look at 21C Lexington. Please enjoy a tour of the space. Alice is going to give a curator's tour of the art that's currently on display, or just peruse the space on your own and enjoy some coffee and snacks from Lockbox right inside the lounge here at Lockbox. And then tonight, be sure to return tonight for some dancing and fun that begins at 8 p.m. And finally, before we cut the ribbon, I'd like to introduce the person whose vision for 21C in this project has inspired and driven all of us involved to design, build, and operate such a beautiful, historic, innovative, comfortable, thought-provoking, surprising, and hospitable project. Today, he's short on his voice, but he's long on what Mayor Gray so wonderfully described as imagination, inspiration, and determination. Ladies and gentlemen, the founder, chairman, and CEO of 21C Museum Hotels, Steve Wilson.
I have lost my voice, so I think plenty has already been said here this morning. I'm very proud to be here. I was competing in an international combined driving event in Florida yesterday, so that's how I lost my voice, I guess I would say. But very proud to be here. This is amazing to think about. 10 years ago, opening the first one, we had no idea there'd be any more at the time. But it's an honor and a pleasure. Craig and I don't think we've ever had this big a crowd at any of our openings, even the one in Louisville. So we're really excited about that too. I thought Deborah was going to blame me for the naughty bathrooms in the basement because she wants to make sure that, that she doesn't get the blame for it if you don't like them. But I like to, people have gotten, each time we do a new 21C, it's always a wonderful new challenge. Certainly when we started thinking about doing others, we didn't want them to be a chain. We don't want anything to be the same. We found that the architecture in the buildings give them their wonderful character, as in this beautiful building. So even though the energy level, the contemporary art, the enthusiasm for hospitality, all are the same, each 21C is unique unto itself. Just like our light fixture here on the corner that came from Switzerland. And I'm sure you've got some questions about the carriage we came up on. I just want to tell you a little bit about that. I love it. I love the way artists are always teaching us a little history lesson, but the artist Jeremy Dean created this carriage with a Hummer the year that Hummer went bankrupt, in homage to the fact that during the Depression, many wealthy people had purchased brand new automobiles and couldn't afford the gas. So they actually did hook up horses to these brand new automobiles and drove around the cities of America. So here we are with our own Hummer horse carriage. So thank you all for coming. Let's cut this ribbon and go inside. Lordy, how about you coming up here?
We was going to bring the council members in.
Okay, here we go.
But